Live and pre-recorded, this is the Red Ticket Blues podcast. I am Brian Buckley. This is being recorded on November 9th, 2015 to hit the internets on November 10th. How's everybody doing? A lot to get to today. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube. Just subscribe. You don't even have to follow me on Twitter, but if you want to, it's at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. That's your decision. You can do whatever you want. I'm not forcing you to do anything. But let's talk. Let's talk. Did you bet on football this week? Did you take my advice? Well, you're an asshole. You lost money, and you're very stupid because I never brag about bets, and you took the bait. I mean, congratulations. You're a moron. No, it was a terrible week for me. 0-3. That's the first 0-3 of the year, week 9, and it was brutal. It was brutal all around. It was brutal in DraftKings. Doug Martin just dropped another pass along with Mike Evans. They're just dropping passes all over the place. Butterfingers. Nobody better lay a finger. But we'll talk a little NFL. We'll quickly do the roundup. We will discuss. Everyone wants to talk about Greg Hardy again, like they forgot what happened in the first place because we saw pictures. Kind of reminds me of the public seeing a video again and then being outraged, like they didn't know what happened the first time. We'll get into that. We'll also discuss the issues, the step down, with resignation of the president of the University of Missouri after the football team basically pushed him to it. The student body can say they did, but I think we all know it was the football team and dollar signs, because it's cream, cash rules everything around me. So for the betterment, for the good of the school, he stepped down. We'll talk more about that. We will also We'll dive into a little NBA. I haven't really gotten into it that much. I'm holding off on buying the NBA package, but I'm getting pretty damn close. It's just too early to be that excited about the NBA. I can't get excited about teams this early. And I also wanted to talk about some other crazy shit, and that is Scientology. It has nothing to do with sports, but the star Leah Remini of King of Queens, and she was amazing as Stacey Carosi in Saved by the Bell, came out with a book recently just about how batshit insane that religion is. So we can get into that a little bit as well. But let's start where the damage was done in my wallet this week, and that was the NFL. So let's start here. What do we do? We'll get to my picks here. No, we're not going to get to my picks. We'll go through this. We'll start with Thursday, Cleveland and Cincinnati. That was a blowout, and what do you expect? I mean, Johnny Manziel had Twitter on fire for an entire drive. Oh, wait, he's not good. That's right, 15 for 33 with 168 yards. That's right, he's bad. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's not good at all. God, I tell you, everyone just becomes infatuated with that dude when he does anything positive. Rolls out of bed, doesn't drink, ties his shoes. Holy shit. Put him in the Pro Bowl. But Cincinnati's 8-0. They won 31-10, and I forget that guy's name. His name escapes me, but the linebacker there, what a nice guy, knocking over that cameraman and injuring the cameraman. Knocking over the camera, injuring the guy, and this is just last week, he was the one that took out Le'Veon Bell. They all said that was a dirty play. So once I find his name, he's in a lot of trouble. Red Ticket Blues. Miami, Buffalo. Buffalo 33-17. I didn't see a ton of this game, but what can you say? Buffalo, they're an iffy team. Both those teams are iffy teams. They were both what? 3-4, 4-3-4. They were both 3-4. It does not take. Come on, powers of deduction using mathematics. They're both 4-3, 3-4, 3-4. Listen, I didn't see a lot of the game. Buffalo basically got away. Tyrod Taylor, he doesn't put up the greatest numbers in the world. He's actually a decent quarterback, and he's leading them. But when you have Sammy Watkins catching 8 passes for 168 yards, that does help. And LaShawn McCoy, hey, did you remember he was alive? 112 yards on the ground. Green Bay, Carolina. I like this. Hey, you've heard me talk about Carolina. Cam Newton. All right. I don't like when he does dumb shit, but I like Cam Newton. He's a good player. He's got energy. He tore down that sign, the Carolina Cheeseheads. Can we make a bigger deal out of nothing? And this is where I usually laugh at the whole if he was white, if he was black deal. If that was a white quarterback, I highly doubt we'd still be talking about this right now. That he tore down oh my God, he tore down a sign. Guys have never done that before. What a precedent that he set. But they won 37-29. This was a game that was sort of a blowout, but Green Bay got back into it. Aaron Rodgers threw a lot of passes, 369 yards, and we even got to saw a little Packer disconnect, a little fighting on the sidelines, huh? You got B.J. Raji pushing Clinton Dix, and they had to separate them, and I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but it's funny seeing Aaron Rodgers looking at his Microsoft tablet, then throwing it down in disgust. Some people want me to criticize that. I'm not going to do that. But just for me, I don't know. I find the man smug. He's a very good quarterback. He's arguably the best quarterback in the league, but he's a very smug guy, and it's good to see Green Bay lose 2 games in a row. That's just me. St. Louis, Minnesota. Minnesota, or is this team for real? They have the same record as the Packers now. They're 21-18. Maybe their record isn't maybe their schedule hasn't been as strong as Green Bay. Are we buying Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, he still doesn't put up enormous numbers. The team's 6-2, though. I don't know. That's a team that doesn't really impress you every week, but they win. They get the job done. St. Louis, average, as expected, and 4-4. Nick Foles. Again, we all wanted to know what Nick Foles was. We all wanted to know what Sam Bradford was. I think we all realized that they're 2 average quarterbacks. Because Nick Foles, 168 yards, he really hasn't been doing much of anything this year. Yeah, Washington, New England, 27-10. New England, it seemed like they were going to cruise to a very large victory. I don't know if they put on the brakes or if the Washington defense stepped up, but regardless, the Patriots cover the spread there, 14 points. Let's see, have I given you any of my losers yet? Because I should be hanging my head in shame with those if we're going to talk about it, right? Am I not talking into the microphone? What's wrong with me? You've done this before, Brian. Come on. Let's see. So while I'm doing this, New England, Washington, and yeah, Brady was Brady. I mean, they do lose Deion Lewis for the year with a torn ACL. That will hurt them, but they are New England, so they'll probably just get some guy off the scrap heap. He'll come in and then rush for 150 yards if they want him to. Then the next week, he won't even play. Then he'll come back 3 weeks later and rush for 150 yards because that is the Patriots' way. That's what they do. Yes, we already went through one there. There we go. St. Louis, I had them +1, and of course, they lost to the Vikings. Score 21-18. So good job out of me there. Very good, Brian. And let's see, we have Tennessee, New Orleans. New Orleans defense sucks, okay? Let's talk about this. They let the Tennessee Titans just walk down the field in that overtime. What a pathetic disgrace of a defense that was. And you thought in the beginning of that game, Breeze was throwing touchdowns all over the place. They had 21 points in the first half. You're saying, holy Christ, they're going to run away with this thing. They didn't. They didn't, and they let Tennessee freaking just, because I actually bet on that game. I did a teaser in New Orleans and the New England. So New England won. I'm just watching the New Orleans game, and God, as soon as they lost that coin flip, I said, holy shit, look at this garbage that is happening. Absolute garbage. Breeze, 387 yards. I mean, their offense is still around. Mark Ingram, 54 yards. What are you going to do? Jacksonville, New York. This was a game that the Jets won, but it wasn't pretty. They did not look great. It was not a smooth game whatsoever. Chris Ivory, 26 yards? Dude, what happened? What? Ryan Fitzpatrick, 272 yards. I mean, Jacksonville showed a little fight there, but they're not a good team. And the Jets should be winning games by a lot more. The spread was 7. They won by 5. It wasn't an impressive victory, especially at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to need a lot more than that. Pittsburgh, Oakland. Pittsburgh eked this one out, 38-35. Roethlisberger's out. I don't think he's going to be right all season. D'Angelo Williams. How about D'Angelo Williams? Forget D'Angelo. Well, let's not forget him yet. But kicked to the curb by the Panthers. Imagine if they kept him. Imagine that. I mean, Jonathan Stewart's a good player, but I mean, come on. Well, what did he have yesterday? 66 yards. Williams, 170 yards, 27 carries. And how about Antonio Brown? 17 receptions, 284 yards. That's insane. Roethlisberger was out of that game, ankle injury. Again, he's not going to be right all year. I will tell you this. Now, people are saying Oakland is in the wild card hunt, which they are. But they're a real team. Let's say they don't. Let's say they miss the playoffs this year. That's a team to be reckoned with in the future because Derek Carr is good. All right, and he has the right pieces around him. Michael Crabtree, hello, where you been? And Latavius Murray, 96 yards. That's a team to be reckoned with. Again, I'm not that. People are all about how they're in the mix this year, and they are. But I don't see it this year. Next year, watch out. So Atlanta, San Francisco, and Atlanta is exposing themselves for the frauds they are. Blaine Gabbert, hello. What am I? I just keep saying hello over and over again, like Kent Singleton. Look out! Matt Ryan, 303 yards. That's nice. Boy, Devontae Freeman, hell. I was about to do it again. 12 carries for 12 yards. That's a yard a carry for those scoring at home. Julio Jones, of course, is 137 yards. Pretty typical for a Julio Jones kind of day. Blaine Gabbert, though, wow, 185 yards. He got knocked out of the game for a play. Colin Kaepernick came in. They booed. He threw an incomplete pass. They booed. Blaine Gabbert came back in. They cheered. Talk about a star falling. Talk about a star falling. Colin Kaepernick. I mean, you look at his stats, and I saw some sort of comparison to Cam Newton's before this week, and they were comparable. And I feel like Kaepernick has had some really, really bad games that's brought it down, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they just need a new life in that locker room. You almost think the substitution, the benching of Kaepernick was to prove a point, but all of a sudden, hey, they won a game. Blaine Gabbert's starting next week, right? He has to. Who are they playing next week? Let's do that. Who are the 49ers playing next week? They're not playing. Maybe that's why he started. No, they're not playing at all. Okay, so no one's gonna start on that team. I guarantee you. New York and Tampa, 32-18. The Giants, again, they're not that good. Tampa Bay did a lot of things to lose this game. And I went heavy in DraftKings with the Tampa Bay Bucks because I was convinced they would win this game. I thought they would win this game. But again, Jameis Winston, 249 yards. Mike Evans, 152 yards. That's good receiving. But you know what? At the same time, how many passes did he drop? It seemed like every ball was hitting him right in the chest, and he would drop every goddamn pass. All of a sudden, Brian cares because it's, DraftKings. But, excuse me. But the Giants improved to 5-4. I mean, what else can you say? They're at the top of their division, that just awful division. Denver, Indianapolis, 27-24. You had Peyton wasn't the greatest day. It's kind of sad. He's trying to break that record by far of 3 yards. They show the graphic up on the screen. What's he do? He throws an interception. Never gets that shot. Luck looked a lot better. I think he's healthier now. How about Denver? Is he a safety or is he a corner? I always want to say Talib Kweli, but he is not a rapper. He's not foreign black star with most F. Aqib Talib. Well, this guy, he's a cornerback. I mean, it doesn't get much more dirty than him. I mean, he poked a guy in the eye the other day. Okay, he poked a defender in the eye, then claimed he didn't remember doing it. I don't even remember, man. Just mad. I can't even remember. I don't know. He doesn't know. This was the same guy. Remember that he was accused of being in a drive-by with his mother as the driver of the car. Now, of course, the charges were dropped. Probably has something to do with a settlement. But police, this, if you don't remember from 2011, police arrested Talib on several charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Have said that Talib and his mother, Okula Talib, shot at a man March 21st. The man was not injured, and he was out on a $25,000 bond. I guess there was an issue with the accuser, but talk about a bad guy, all right? And I'm saying that because there's evidence to back it up. If you don't believe me, then he's also involved in a fist fight with fellow Buccaneers rookie Corey Boyd in 2008. 2009, he allegedly battered a taxi driver, was arrested by Florida Highway Patrol and booked into a jail, charged with resisting arrest without violent civil battery. And then the other thing that we talked about, the aggravated assault with deadly weapon, but that was dropped over insufficient evidence and character concerns with the accuser. I'm not inviting him to dinner anytime soon, we'll put it that way. I wouldn't let him watch my clothes. Watch or wash my clothes. So, back to the games here. That was another game that I gave it. Well, Tampa Bay was another one that I thought that was a 2-point spread. I lost there. And the other game was Denver, 5.5. And, of course, I lost that as they did not win the game. So, those are your 3 losses. It's these days are coming. So, when I sit here and brag, Tampa Bay +3. These days are coming. So, you can brag when they're good, but it hurts. It hurts a lot when you lose. Philadelphia, Dallas. I did not watch this monstrosity as I did not really care about this game. I didn't want to. But I guess it ended up being a high-scoring game. 33-27 Philadelphia. Dallas's hopes are all but over. It doesn't matter if Tony Romo's coming back next week or whenever. It looks like they're done. Even in this NFC East, they're going to need a miracle at this point to do anything. So, what can you say? That is the NFL. It's the NFL. Let's see. Excuse me. Wow. Hey, in case you missed it, I interviewed Phil Mushnick, the New York Post, last week. And if you want to check that out, go back on the whatever you're listening to. There should be episodes should be there. And, there's been a few interviews the past few months. So we've got Phil Mushnick, Jeff Pearlman, Sam Mellinger, and many more. Simon from Yonkers, Mark Mongo, the whole crew. Ethan from Gotham Sports. So everyone check that out. Let's see, where are we going to go next? Let's go to Greg Hardy. Let's stay in the NFL right here. Now, Greg Hardy, there was an article that came out in Deadspin. Very big, very detailed report of the crime that he was suspended for in the first place. Lots of pictures of the girlfriend that he assaulted. And, it's pretty graphic. It wasn't like a murder scene. But, listen, the lady was she was roughed up. There's no doubt about that. I'm not minimizing that whatsoever. And the details are pretty rough. This is a guy that was really pissed off and had a murderistic approach to dealing with this. He almost felt as if from accusers' words. We'll just say that. Now, Greg Hardy was suspended last year with pay for 15 games. So, I don't want to say that should count as something because it shouldn't. This guy didn't have to take the rigors of an NFL schedule and picked up the paycheck that an NFL player would. And don't be mad at the NFL. Be mad at the North Carolina crime, the criminal system that allowed him to be found guilty. Then the accuser didn't cooperate, and then they dropped the charges. So, because he appealed. Now, what has happened with this new report is that people are calling for, and they say, listen, the NFL needs to take action. They fuck around too much, and you know what? This is a disgusting person that is playing in the NFL, and he shouldn't be. Do something about it. All of that, I'm 100% in agreement with. I don't think Greg Hardy should be playing. The fact that he was suspended for 4 games. He was suspended for 10, appealed, got 4. That's disgusting. He is a monster. Now, the Cowboys have defended Jerry Jones. What is he going senile? What is wrong with him? He's losing brain cells or something. He's not even just saying, listen, we're doing this, blah blah blah. He helps the team. It's been a tough time for everyone. He's a leader. How is he a leader? He just got there yesterday. What are you talking about? And then saying things like, listen, he's getting a second chance. There's a code of conduct he has to follow. Like, was he really sitting down there like with Greg Hardy? Listen, Greg, yeah, listen. You can't beat women anymore. You can't do it if you're going to be a Dallas Cowboy. And Greg Hardy's, no, I understand that completely. I understand that, Mr. Jones. I understand that. Is that really the code of conduct? You can't beat women? Does that have to be told to you? But here's the thing. There's plenty of columnists, there's plenty of fans, there's plenty of everyone. Everyone's getting their 2 cents in. Do something about Greg Hardy now, NFL. You can't. Okay? You can't. Because the NFL has been down this road before. Remember Ray Rice? We remember Ray Rice. He's the poster boy for domestic violence in the NFL. Am I saying Ray Rice is a bad guy? On that night he was. Am I saying he is all the time? I don't know. Greg Hardy's had issues before, too. But let's just stick to Ray Rice for a second. He got the 2 games because he punched his wife, dragged her out of there like he hit her over the head with a club like a fucking caveman, dragged her out of an elevator. Okay? And we all thought, that's terrible. That's terrible, okay? Then the entire video comes out and people are completely batshit crazy. What did you think happened in there? Did you think it was one of those crazy churches where he just put his hand up to her head and got the devil out of her? He slugged her, okay? What did you think happened? So I sort of look at this the same way. What did you think happened? We heard the whole report. All you see now is really, really big details, okay? Details that don't change what actually happened. And you see pictures of what you would assume would happen to someone who experienced this. Now, what the NFL did was, what did they do? That came out. And who knows if they saw the video? They're probably full of shit. Who knows all that? Regardless, they decided to suspend Rice for the rest of the season. He filed a suit against the NFL, and they settled for almost $3.5 million. That's what they'd be doing with Greg Hardy. You can't suspend the guy twice. Now, I may come across, and I listen, I feel dirty doing this. I'm saying you can't suspend Greg Hardy. You can't do it. I'm coming off like I'm like defending this guy. I don't like even using that word. But people want their cake, and that's a terrible... I hate fucking cliches like that. But you can't do it. I mean, be realistic here. The NFL is just going to end up getting sued and then taken to court and lose money, and then we'll all laugh at the NFL again because they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Cliche. So just remember that. Remember that when you see your Twitter posts. Remember that when you see this column from Joe Schmo Soapbox. Now, Hardy and Jones were invited on the Bob Costas Bitch Fest, a.k.a. halftime whatever. Why would they do that? They declined. Why in God's name would they go on with someone like Bob Costas, who normally has an agenda, and he has to look sparkling clean by the end of it? Look at my hair. It's so dark. It's so black. In my coffin, it will be jet black. That guy is good. How does he do it? Why would they go on there? Why would they listen to... Why would they be set up? Listen, the NFL fucked up from the beginning. Again. He should have been suspended the whole year. But you can't try the guy twice. You can't do it. The NFL's already done it, and they've been proven wrong and had to pay out the ass. Yeah, $3.5 million is nothing to them, but still, that's where the money came from, out of the ass. So just remember that next time you're on your soapbox. Speaking of soapbox, how great am I? No, so, what are we drinking today? We are drinking the Lagunitas Born Yesterday Pale Ale. Now, I had not seen this before. I don't know if this is a recent one. It's a 2015 one-hitter series. One-hitter. Doesn't remind me of a one-hitter. It reminds me of a beer. But anyways, they have this crazy stuff here. Imagine yourself in a field of dreams. Brewer's dreams, that is to say. A field of hope, mosaic, amarillo, equinox, and other special varieties curated by the great men and women who ply the lands and those trails of the Yakima Valley in Washington State. Now inhale, now sip, now swallow. I don't need all that. But it is good. They got a 6.5 alcohol. Lagunitas, usually, they always make a great beer. I don't like the brown sugar one. It gave me a hangover. When you add too much sugar to a beer, that's not good. So let's take a sip here. I mean, it's very good. It's very hoppy. I mean, if you don't like hops, do not try this beer. But I like it. Of course I liked it. It's the last beer I've had in a six-pack. So, of course, I like the first five pretty good, too. I'd recommend it. I think I went on the Untapped app. If you're on Untapped, you can find me. And it's one of the worst. This is the only corny, like, check-in thing I do is Untapped, the beer app. How dare someone beep in the middle of my podcast? Assholes. I think I gave it a 4. It's pretty good. So, that's that. And what we'll move on to, let's see, how far are we in the podcast? 23 minutes. I swear to God, I can talk so much. I can talk a lot of trash. Bet that's better than eating it. You know what that's from? So the University of Missouri, there's been a lot of racially charged incidents that have happened, I guess, in the recent past. But, and now, before I even start this, I hesitated even talking about this. And not because it's a racial issue. And I've said before in the past, I think race needs to be discussed more. Not on my podcast, but, well, on my podcast, but in general, more in society. I think we're too guarded about race that I think it just makes everything awkward. And I really wish people could be more honest. As long as you're going to be respectful and, tolerant of other people's ideas, it's something that needs to be spoken about a lot more, but it's not. And it's held in, and it makes things ugly. That being said, with this, I was reluctant to talk about this, not because it's racially related, but just because I feel like something's missing. I feel like not everything is being known. And what I mean by that is, we'll get into this. So, University of Missouri, which, I believe is nearby where Ferguson, Missouri is. It's in the same state, regardless if it's close or not. So, and that was, of course, the Michael Brown shooting. And what side you're on, the Michael Brown supporters or if you took a side, the media makes you take a side, by the way. If you didn't fucking take a side, you better take one and you better like it. And you better be very adamant and say nasty things about the other side on social media, or you just don't care about America. That's really that you just don't like America. So, whatever side you were on, I think we can admit that there seems to be some racial tensions in the state of Missouri. At the very least, racial tensions in the state of Missouri. So it looks like on the campus of Missouri here, we'll get to this. So student government Peyton Head, who is black, said in September that people in a passing pickup shouted racial slurs at him. In early October, members of a black student organization said slurs were hurled at them by an apparently drunken white student. In addition, a swastika drawn in feces was recently found in a dormitory bathroom. Now, protesters at Missouri galvanized around a group called Concerned Student 1950, which gets its name from the year the university accepted its first black student. So what happened was, many on campus were very upset, justifiably. I understand that. And I guess a student actually went on a hunger strike. A lot of this attention was gained through social media. And I guess the president, Wolfe, I don't know his first name. Doesn't matter. He doesn't work there anymore. Tim Wolfe had met with a lot of the leaders of the committees and groups representing minorities, African-American students, and met with them several times. I went through a timeline on NBC, but I guess that's what I mean when I don't know. Because he met with these students, but it was just a little synopsis. It said that basically these group leaders were now satisfied with his response. And this has only been going on for a few weeks. So the Missouri football team, it's pretty admirable what they did. They said, we're not going to play anymore nothing happened to them, it appears as if. We're not going to play anymore until this president resigns or is removed. When I first heard this, I thought, yeah, you got a chance in hell of that happening, and I'd like to see you on Saturday morning actually try that shit. Monday morning, this guy resigned. Now, I look at that and I go, okay, there's one thing going on. Either we don't know the whole story, or this freaking football team, not this football team, football teams, college football teams, I'd say basketball, but football is more not popular, but more, they bring in more money to a university, a football team. Are they more powerful than the president? Because I'll tell you one thing. If the women's lacrosse team said, we're not playing, the president would say, oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, we don't care. We'll have your scholarships taken away. You bring nothing to the university other than Title IX regulations. If any other team outside of the basketball team said anything, they wouldn't care. These guys put their asses on the line. Now, again, I would be interested to see if this actually had happened on Saturday, if they would not have suited up. And it was all the team. And now I did read that many of the players were a little reluctant to do it, but they said, this is unity. I guess you don't really want to be called a scab in a situation like that. I guess it was the same way that University of Missouri had issues a few years ago when Michael Sam came out as the first openly gay college football player. Was he the first? He came out as gay, and he was going to be the first NFL openly gay college football player, but everyone realized he wasn't very good, so he never actually played a game. But I don't know, man. There has to be something behind this. At the same time, what kind of precedent does this set? Does this mean that all of a sudden these guys, these teams, can stronghold a president? No, again, I don't want to make it seem as if their reason wasn't just. I don't go to the University of Missouri. I haven't faced that much racial discrimination in my life as a white male in Connecticut. I have, very small, compared to probably most minorities. So I'm not trying to act like it's comparable. But, I don't know. It seems like kind of going up the chain of command, like being angry with Comcast and asking to speak to, can I speak to the president of Comcast, please? Because I'm not happy with the fact that my HBO keeps buffering. I feel like there's a lot of unanswered questions with this case. And the precedent, well, again, I think it's admirable that these guys, it was unity with their student body to do this. And I will say that you do think maybe something was going on as the faculty was ready to walk out as well. There's something that we don't know about the University of Missouri. It's something that Tim Wolfe, or unanswered questions, not to be a broken record, but we don't know this whole story. Because I don't want to sit here and defend some sort of redneck that maybe doesn't deserve to be expelled from his job. Well, he resigned, so he didn't really get expelled, but I'm not in the business of defending rednecks. So we'll see what happens, because I don't think this story's over. If those are the only 2 incidents, I don't want to minimize that, but it's like, do you think some drunk racist guy is not going to yell the N-word next time because there's a new president? Like, I don't know. Did Virginia Tech, did they ask for the president to resign after that kid shot up the school and killed 35 people? Maybe that's not a great comparison, but I don't know. I don't know how racial harmony now exists. I mean, I know you have to start somewhere, but that's my take. I know I'm kind of rambling with that one, but I feel like we don't know that whole story. And I guess we'll end on a sort of a joking note, but I guess if you're involved in Scientology, it's not that funny. Yeah, maybe we won't get into the NBA. We're already passing here. I know you guys got things to do. We're at 30 minutes already. Well, let's do the NBA real quick. I haven't watched much of it. Don't have the NBA League Pass yet. Kobe Bryant looks awful, and I don't know why, for whatever reason, though, we want to put our stars in the grave. Yes, he has 99 points on 97 field goal attempts, which is god-awful. He's shooting .320 from the field. Okay? He's taken 48 threes already. My lord. 48 threes in 6 games. That's crazy. Don't count Kobe Bryant out. I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP. Brian Buckley said he's going to win the MVP. No. Kobe Bryant's not going to win the MVP. God, the guy is rusty, though. Give him a break. He's coming off rotator cuff surgery. He's going to have multiple surgeries. He's played 30, let's see, 2013, 14, and this season. He's played a total of 47 games. Give the man a break. And this is coming from a former Kobe hater. Give the man a break. Let him live. Let him breathe. Man. So Kristaps Porzingis for the New York Knicks. Man, he's looking, I don't know. I mean, we don't get too good. Don't get too good. Carmelo will push you out. Or Carmelo will request a trade. And I say it's 50-50 he's on that team at the end of the year. He looks like shit so far, too. But, I mean, you don't get rid of someone just because he looks bad in his first few games. You have to be realistic there with Carmelo Anthony. But he doesn't like competition for popularity on his team. Ask Mr. Lin. Now, I know Jeremy Lin probably didn't belong there in the first place. In reality, it was a good move by the Knicks. But Melo didn't like that, Jeremy Lin there. No. It's Melo's world. Ask him. He's got a great watch. Just ask him the time. So we'll get into Scientology to end the show here. And Leah Remini from King of Queens. And I never got into that show because, she's pretty good looking. And she was married to Kevin James, a big fat slop. So it was sort of I know it's a sitcom, but it's unbelievable. Like, no fat guy's getting a guy that hot. I mean, no fat guy's getting a girl that hot. So she's been in Scientology forever, I guess, through her family and whatnot. And, she said that all of the Scientology members could fit in Yankee Stadium. The church has claimed some 10 million parishioners worldwide. Estimates of the actual organizers are 35,000, blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyways. So she's had some issues with Tom Cruise. Now, that's my main issue here. Now, I knew Tom Cruise is a powerful guy. He's got more money than he could, his great-great-grandkids could spend. He's quite the bigwig. Now, he's a powerful guy, again, and I realize he's a Scientologist, but he, runs the show there. This isn't just he's one of the big guys. He runs the show, it looks like. So, this is from a book that Leah Remini is writing. Now, I always find Scientology weird. It's just a cultish... It is cultish. Kind of that's that Simpsons episode with the leader, where the whole town, because the town does everything together. It's kind of like how everyone did everything together on Saved by the Bell when Stacey Carosi was Leah Remini at the Malibu Sands Beach Resort, and they all got a job there. It was very cultish. They did everything together. But here, what am I talking about? So, Remini was invited over Tom Cruise's house with Jada Pinkett Smith to play hide and seek in his 7,000 square foot house. Adults playing hide and go seek. Later that same night, Cruise gets angry when he can't find the ingredients to make cookies. The dough is right in front of him, but everyone's too scared to point it out to him. Still not noticing the log of pre-made dough on the counter, Tom raised his hand above his head, Remini writes. LRH is here. That's L. Ron Hubbard, the creator of Scientology, from a comic book. Or science fiction. He then lowered his hand to his chin and said, and Dave and I are here. Then with his hand at his waist, he said to his assistant, "And you are here." What a fucking lunatic. So it looks like Remini would, I mean, I guess, ask questions and be, you know, she'd say, ask questions and make disparaging remarks about the religion sometimes. So what would happen is you get written up in Scientology. You get written up like you were in school, like a detention, or your name with a check on it on the board. Because, you know, if you got your name on the board, that wasn't good. You got a check, now you're in fucking deep shit. So, but these write-ups were called knowledge reports. And you had to meet with like a counselor about it. These are adults in a religion. Now, I used to think, you know, I'm born and raised, you know, Roman Catholic, okay? I think, I don't want to say anti-religious stuff here, but I think whenever we take a look at everyone's religion, there's always something a little wacky about it. All of a sudden, this makes fucking complete sense looking at Scientology. I mean, completely out of it. I mean, Remini paid the church $40,000 for stealing hamburgers. My auditor asked, let's see, Remini would use a false name to order food at public restaurants on base and then flush the evidence. She admits this in an auditing session to the same base to which she has returned to a regular parishioner. They wanted to know, thought I owed to make up the damage for the food I stole 20 years ago. They said, how much did you eat? And she said, how do I know? How much was custard and hamburgers for 3 months in the 80s? They said, let's round it up to $40,000. This is a batshit and crazy. This is not breaking news, okay? This is not breaking news whatsoever, but I just find it, I don't want to be a part of any religion where Tom Cruise can fucking just, you know, I'd rather take my chances with Santeria or voodoo. This is ugly shit. Let's see, anything else good here? Katie Holmes tattles on Remini, then she asks for her money back, and no one wants to know where the head of, everyone wants to know where the head of the church, his wife is. No, she hasn't been seen in public since 2007. There's questions. So I thought that was just sort of a wacky thing, just so when you do your thing today, just say, hey, at least I'm not a fucking Scientologist. So that is the podcast for today. I hope everyone enjoyed. We're at 30-something minutes. Good Lord. I'm going to settle in and watch a shitty football game with the Bears and the Chargers. That's all we got. So look for the Thursday talk this week. And it should be a great talk, of course. And like I said, if you missed any of those other Thursday talks, take a look. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube. And see, this is the problem when you, this just popped up. This is the problem when you, I've done this before. I've said this before, but when you bet online through somebody, they sell your shit and they sell your phone number. So I just got this. And this is like, you probably think I'm lying. They're just like, oh, this is so convenient. Nope, but the text message came in right now as soon as I mentioned that football game. Chicago-San Diego is by far the strongest Monday night game in over 5 years. Holy shit, can you believe it? Well, look, we're positive it'll easily cover. Call 708-580. I don't care. I'll say the whole number. 0131. Call them. It's free. It's no sales pitch. I'm just giving them business. I'm not soliciting. They're soliciting themselves. So that's the number. You call them and they'll get, this is the strongest play in 5 years. Who knew? I got to call right now. I should call. Should I call? I'm not calling. Should I call? I'm tempted to call, but then they're going to call me like nonstop and send me text messages and be like, hey, this asshole actually called back. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube. Follow the show at Red Ticket Blues. Follow me at BrianBuck13. And like us on Facebook. And give me some ratings, huh? Rate the show. Come on, you enjoy it. You listen to it. Do your part. Don't be stingy. Rate the show. Stars, ratings, whatever you want to do. Without all that being said, I'm out of here.